Right, shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. It's your brother Kadar Malak come up with another video. I've been gone for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I had to come back and drop a little something quick on the Shabbat. Right, showing who are the Gentiles. This is a big deal in Christianity, a big deal in the Christian church, a big deal in plenty of things. But this is showing who can get saved, who's the grafted in for, and plenty of different things by knowing who the Gentiles are. All right, so let's start out with the Old Testament. All right, who are the Gentiles? First thing first. All right, let's go to the book of Genesis 10 and verse. Let's get verse. I'm in transit, so bear with me. 10 and verse 5. It says, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families and their nations. So the Gentiles are, you can read about them in Japheth, you can read about them in Ham. These are the Gentiles by blood. It's any other nation that is not Israel. That is who the Gentiles is, right? Because the Gentiles cannot, because you got to understand the prophecies of the Old Testament, understand the New Testament. Because if these were, let's say the Gentiles in Acts 2, let's say if those are blood-born heathen, then what would this mean right here in Isaiah? Let's go to Isaiah 61 and verse, let's get Isaiah 61 and verse 6. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. So the Bible prophesies that we're going to eat the riches of the Gentiles. We're going to eat their spoils. We're going to take the things that they have. If that New Testament is talking about blood-born Gentiles, then why are we not eating the riches of them? That wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for them to be blood-born Gentiles. You got to understand blood-born Gentiles and when you see stuff in the New Testament. All right, let's go to another scripture. Let's go to Joel 3 and verse, Salakia 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Hey, God said, prophesying, hey, prepare war for the Gentiles. Prepare the sword. They need to go to war. If this in the New Testament is talking about literally blood-born Gentiles, why are they not preparing war? They got to get put to the sword. They got to get their riches eaten of. Right? And you got to understand the blue letter in the words that you're reading. Right? It's only, you got 3 definitions of Gentile. One in the Old Testament is Goy, talking about any other nation that's not Israel. Then you have Hellén. Hellén pops up in the New Testament a lot. Hellén is when the Greek-speaking or Jew Israelites, they were Hellenized. Right? The Greek-speaking Israelites. They are people that was forced to not know their culture and their heritage. Right? And let's go to that real quick. Let's go to second. Really, actually, I'm not gonna get that. I'm gonna get Romans 9. Let's go to Romans 9 and verse 24. Because this is what Paul said. Because Paul was writing to the Gentiles. It says, even us whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. So it's talking about the Gentiles, not just the Jews, the Gentiles. He's explaining it. Verse 25, as he saith in Hosea, which is Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which was not my, which was not beloved. Now, where does this say in Hosea, right, that I'm going to call them my people, which is not my people? Verse 26, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there they shall be called the children of the living God. Now, where is that written at? Well, let's go to Hosea 1 and verse 9. Then then said God, call his name Lord my, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your God. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Who is this written to? Northern kingdom of Israel. So it's explaining the Gentiles in Romans 9 and 24 are Israelites. This is fulfilling the prophecy of the Old Testament. Because they wasn't called their people. Didn't the Lord cast off northern kingdom? Literally, he said, I'm not going to be your God. But he grafted them all back in through Christ. You understand? All right, so let's get this real quick. Romans 9 and verse 4. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God, and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whose as concerning the flesh Christ came, who is over all, God blessed forever. So the Israelites pertain to the adoption, which is coming back in, the grafting in. All these things are blessing just for Israel. Why in the hell would God start dealing with heathen if he never knew them? Right, let me get this real quick in Amos. Amos 3 and verse 2. Ye only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. If God only knew one nation of people, and he punished one nation of people for their sins, how the hell in the New Testament he start dealing with the heathen and now they're grafted back in and now they're coming back into the fold? That doesn't make sense. The only reason they didn't know who they was is also this. All right, let's go to 2 Maccabees 6 and verse 6. Verse 1. 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So you had the Greeks during this time of the Maccabees, from the Greek captivity around 333 BC when it started. Alexander under Antiochus around 164, around 174 when he was born. But he started causing all hell to come loose and forcing us to not call ourselves not call ourselves Israelites and go against the laws of our father. Now let's go down to verse 6. It says, neither was it lost, really 5. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So you cannot profess yourself to be a Jew no matter what, even if it's by blood. That's how you had men out of Ethiopia. You had men out of Cyprus and Sicilia and Ephesus. You had men all around the Roman and the Greek areas and everywhere, even out of Egypt. They're Israelites, but they can't call themselves that because they have been forced and beat to go away from their laws and their heritage. So the New Testament, when it's talking about the Gentiles, it's talking about usually Greek-speaking Israelites. Israelites who have been conditioned to go against their heritage, and now Christ is coming to graft them all back in. Because you can't get grafted back in, you can't get reconciled back in if you was never reconciled. You can't come back if you was never a part of it in the first place. So the Gentiles in the New Testament are Israelites. That's the understanding. That's the basis. That's the foundation. Now it would make more sense. Because God doesn't change. God's not going to go from one nation of people to another nation and then you're going to kind of switch the nation again. That's not what's going on. But with that, Lord willing, Israel is edified. You know what I'm saying? Shalom to the 12 tribes. So I keep the Sabbath day holy and stay focused. All right, shalom, shalom.